Either way. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of your
fifth favorite podcast?
Fifth favorite podcast?
I don't know.
The Dirt Drive Podcast. This week, we are brought to you by Gearhead Coffee for Expo. Shout out Gearhead. If you go to their website and use code DirtDrive, you can save 15%. I mean, we take their stuff with us everywhere we go camping.
Yeah, I've sucked down a lot of Colombian Bam Bam this weekend.
And we are joined by...
That's the coffee.
We're joined by Jordan Davis.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Yeah. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, introduce us. Tell us a little bit about you.
So, Jordan Davis, Recoil TJ on Instagram. Pretty much that's all
Oh, shit. Let me do this quick, too. This is for you.
Oh,
the
boy.
official handoff.
What do we got here?
It's my first gift. Then you can introduce yourself.
Okay.
You should be honored. You're the first sponsored guest on the podcast.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, God. Probably.
Well, you guys are the first sponsored podcast by Rockstar after a few minutes ago.
Hey.
If they actually want to sponsor us, give me a
Sweet.
shout at the Dirt Drive.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
They've got good coffee. I like it. I'm not a huge coffee guy, but when I do drink it, I like it.
Well, the nice thing is you don't have to put just coffee in it.
Right.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna put some Rockstar in mine right now.
There you go.
But yeah, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so off-road wise, personally, I work for Steal It. So if you guys don't know, I'm sure you guys do use it in the shop.
Yep.
Steal It's a stainless steel coating. So basically axles, anything that's metal, axles, roll bar, chassis, all that kind of stuff.
It's real good shit.
I feel like it's really changed the motorsport side of it because, I remember when I was living in Colorado, kind of moonlighting, doing some Baja stuff and desert stuff.
Yeah.
And WD-40 and Scotch breading frames every time the truck left the building, and it's just miserable.
Yeah.
And you can never get the smell of WD-40 out of your hands.
Pretty much. I've been there before.
And now you can just Steal It on it, and you're done.
Right. That's pretty much it. Prevents any kind of rust or corrosion.
Yeah.
Weldable.
Yep.
All the benefits. So I work for them. I do tech support. I also do events. Obviously, I travel the country, do all their shows.
Are you all across the country? You East Coast mainly?
No, so as far as distributors, tech support, I mainly try to hit East Coast stuff just because I'm over here. I'm in Florida.
Yep.
So that's pretty much what I do. As far as events go, though, every event across the country, Formula Drift is one we follow. So going out to those. 2 weeks from now, we'll be in Irwindale, California for their finals.
Nice.
So, yeah, we follow a couple of racers, so going out to those, following, supporting those guys.
Yep.
We'll be at PRI this year, obviously,
Nice.
and a couple of big shows like that. But other than that, that's my primary job. That's what I do. Outside of that,
secondary job is sponsored Jeep driver.
Secondary job is not a paid job. It's just what I love to do. It's kind of what got me the job that pays.
Yeah.
So, Rockstar Garage is who I'm with. That's the team I'm on. We travel the country, do off-road events, all that kind of stuff. We've got a long list of brand supporters that support us and help us out. And, we go do off-road events that we host, free events, to the public. Everybody can come out. We literally give everybody that registers, we give them a shirt, a meal, and a raffle ticket for
the Great American Crawl.
Yeah, that's the Great American Crawl.
We got to get to one of those.
I know. There's been a few around us that I'm like, we need to go.
Just there.
I know, and you gave me a hard time. You're like, you need to come out and wheel. And then I watched your video. I'm like, I can't keep up with these guys. They're having too much fun.
Oh no, we have something for everybody.
Yeah, you guys have more stock classes and all that stuff too.
Right. We try. So me personally, I manage the southeast kind of region.
It's also delicious. I haven't had a Rockstar in a very long time.
That's one of the new Focus ones. That's pretty good. Yeah, they're a little more mild. They're no sugar, so very little sugar.
Nice.
But, we host those events, and they're free for anybody to come out. You just gotta go register, and free meal, free shirt, free raffle ticket. We give away thousands of dollars in prizes every single event. So if it's a slow event, you got really good odds. If it's a big event, you'll just meet more people. You know, but it's a really good time. You guys should come out.
Yeah.
But,
I think because it's I think there was a year you guys did Roush, AOAA, and was it Good Evening Ranch? Or,
yeah, I think it was Good Evening Ranch.
Windrock. Or maybe all four.
Yeah, so last year we did the Ranch and Windrock.
Okay.
I was actually at Windrock. That was the second event that I ever had my Jeep out at.
Okay.
After the rebuild.
Yeah.
But before that, the first year, let's see, 21 was the first year that I was actually getting involved. We did Roush.
Nice.
We did I don't think we did anywhere in West Virginia. Roush was one of them.
I tried to go to Roush, but I assume my Cherokee wasn't running.
Oh,
More than likely. Yeah.
more than likely.
Yeah.
just
It's
an
Cherokee
assumption.
things.
Yeah. So yeah, we do all over. So I try to schedule the Southeast region.
Oh
so,
shit. Okay.
Yeah, so we're trying to work together on getting our 2025 schedule ready to launch for next year. So
Yeah.
How did you get into motorsports or cars? I guess.
So I'm the kind of person that can't leave something alone if they own it. So ever since like the Ford Exploder that I had, when I turned 16, putting stereo systems in it, doing anything I could to touch it, everything. So kind of just evolved from there. After that, I had a Mustang. After that, I had a Dodge Ram. Like had just
So just you didn't
regular
have
jobs.
You didn't start in a particular segment. You just kind of like,
No.
hey, I need a new car. This seems
General car guy.
This
Yeah.
I just
yeah.
couldn't leave stuff alone. I'm that kind of guy. So I've
the
had a
same
little
way.
bit of everything.
Yeah.
So those that get it, get it.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
I went from an XJ to a Subaru to a BMW to a classic BMW, and now I'm back in Jeeps.
Yep, I was.
There's like 30 cars in between there, but
Full circle.
you can follow the up and down.
CJ, truck, XJ, truck, JK.
Right. You
Oh,
have
Camaro. I've got the Camaro in there too. I forgot about that
There
one.
you go. Yeah, my
Don't tell my wife I forgot about the Camaro. Fuck.
that's still in there.
It's still in there.
Um,
It's still in my shed in my
I was
house.
gonna say, it's still in
I
there.
get hollered about it every week.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I didn't really have any kind of off road or in Florida.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
nothing down
Flat.
there.
There's woods.
We learned not that long ago, Florida is actually the flattest state in the country.
I believe it.
The highest elevation
Which
is
is like
300 feet.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure we
Yeah.
changed 300 feet from like the highway to where we're sitting.
Yeah.
It's funny. I joke because the town that I live really close to, I went to high school in, is Mount Dora. And the highest thing in that town is the landfill, and so we call it Mount. There we go. That's Mount Dora.
I thought you were
Yeah.
gonna say the people.
It is
Depending
Florida.
on which area you go to. Okay.
Not that far north.
Yeah. Well,
Not
you
quite
go
the Panhandle.
Right around the corner.
Oh yeah, literally.
So, yeah, didn't really have any off-road experience, until I bought, after I sold the Dodge Ram, I bought a JK,
Yeah.
an 11 JK, and
Okay.
started putting everything bolts on you could get, did
Which is everything.
Yeah.
the whole Jeep Club,
Yeah.
JK thing, and went out and drove it through some mud puddles and got old with it real quick.
The
Yeah.
JKs are officially the gateway drug. I think everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think to an extent. I don't know.
Sasquatch.
It's weird now because people are off camera.
I know.
It's one thing when everything is just like no video, but now it's like people are going to realize that we got distracted by something over there.
Right, it's
And
going
they
to be
can't
really
see.
weird for the people that are only listening to it and just hear a random Sasquatch.
Yeah, that's
They're used to
normal. You clearly haven't listened to all the episodes of the podcast. 'cause
I've
that's,
listened to a lot, but I haven't gone way far back.
Don't.
Don't. Start it like after episode 69. Everything
Nice.
pre 69 is a shit show, and then 70 we kind of get our lives together.
Oh, you got that figured out. So, JK.
Yeah,
you're
so
JK.
JK got old with that real quick.
Yeah.
For Florida, like I did everything I could do, and then
Yeah.
like, all right, cool.
All the Jeep beaches and
Yeah,
that one.
well-
Cleater just did a video there, the mud pit.
Yeah.
I'm sure you went there a bunch. Or the,
No, I didn't even do that. Like the
Oh,
first
wow.
Jeep beach I went to, it was stock. Like just went out and walked around and looked
Put
at all
the
the
top
cool
down,
stuff, and
yeah.
like, oh, cool, there's all this cool stuff. Like, all right,
What am
now-
I going to do with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, a payment on a vehicle, I was like, all right, cool. Like, you got a $400 or $500 payment on a vehicle. I'm like,
That's me.
well, this was like
Sitting in front of my payment.
Yeah.
This was like 2016, 17 when, things were a little
Affordable?
reasonable. Yeah, reasonable.
Yeah.
So I got rid of it real quick and got a TJ. And from there, I've had the TJ ever since.
So that's what your Jeep started life as a TJ?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because now it's like an LJ LS bastard.
No.
on
So is there any TJ left in it?
Yeah, there is.
The doors?
So, well, yeah, there is.
Firewall
I
doors?
can go through that, but yeah. So first, I bought that, and I put the money I was putting into a payment into the Jeep,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
did everything I could to it, and basically maxed out what I could do with it in Florida. So
Pretty easy.
right, yeah. So right before, like a year or two before COVID hit, I started really digging into it, and I did. It ended up being a full rebuild. Not a frame off, but I did a back half. I did the coilovers. I did JK axles. So I had it
Okay.
on 44s.
So all the right stuff.
Yeah. It was a great build.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah,
great
it's
build. I got, that's kind of where I started social media stuff.
Was that all? You got all that information off of forums on like what parts to get and how to do it?
Oh yeah. So for like that, between that and YouTube, like that's where I learned not only how to do all that, but like how to weld, how to work on a motor, how to because I didn't own a toolbox.
Yeah.
When I bought the JK, I didn't own a toolbox.
Wild.
So
that's wild.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
So I mean, that's kind of been my life ever since.
Sure.
Is I don't have a kid, so that's everything I did. I lived, ate, and breathed, anything automotive and working on stuff. Like I absolutely loved it.
Got to learn somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. So built the JK up, gained a lot of traction on social media. I had one of those moments where you just say screw it, and I had a lot of family stuff going on. Just was getting tired with work. Was working a ton of overtime at the fire department. So I was like, all right, screw it. Yeah.
Fire department
guy. Yeah.
Why does that always happen to us?
I don't know. The beard didn't say fire department, but you just said fire department.
Says the two guys with beards.
Right.
Yeah, we met through our volunteer fire department. I've done it since college, 15 plus years.
Hell, I'm gonna run for 72 hours next weekend when I get home.
So you're shaving.
Yeah, I'm gonna shave.
Oof.
But I get to respond from the house. So I live in the country. I take a Crown Vic home down an old back country road, and I rip to scene in a Crown Vic down an old country road along a river.
Yeah.
It's a fucking great time.
Florida's a little more strict on it.
Hi, pup.
Oh, hey there.
Yeah, there's gonna be a couple random dogs.
They just wander.
They're all very friendly.
Oh well. Yeah. So built the TJ up. Had one of those screw up moments, and I said, all right, I've done everything in Florida that this Jeep can do. Like, obviously, like I can go to any of these off-road events that I've been to all of them.
Yeah.
And all the man-made stuff that they put out at those events at Jeep Beach and Jeeping with Judd and like cool events, but like, all right,
you can only drive over a concrete road barrier so many times.
Exactly. So did that.
Drainage pipes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I said screw it, and I traded or sold my Expedition that I had while I was building the Jeep because the Jeep was no longer roadworthy.
Yeah.
Sold that and bought a diesel and trailered it out to Moab.
Wow.
Like within a little over a month in advance.
You just reach out on Facebook and find a group out there to go with? You have a group of buddies that you went with?
Well, so initially I said, screw it, I'm going to Easter Jeep Safari. Like, that's like the dream trip.
That's a good place to
screw it,
start.
I'm going. I didn't know anybody going.
Yeah.
So
perfectly fine, though.
I jumped on Instagram, Facebook, all the social medias. I was like, hey, guys, anybody going? And had a couple of people that were going to be there. I was like, all right, cool. I'll catch up with you guys. Like, at some point, like, I'm coming out there from Florida. I don't know anybody. Whatever. Just put it out there. And turns out Rockstar Garage was going to be out there. Great American Crawl had, this was really early on when we don't really do events like crawls at other big events because it's kind of like colliding and it can be a mess.
Yeah, it's a lot of traffic.
So that's before we decided not to do that, and there was a crawl out at EJS.
Okay.
And so I got in contact with a couple buddies of mine, and they ended up like, hey, come out with us. We'll be out there for the week. Come ride with us. So that's kind of, I was already, like all the parts that I had bought for the Jeep were already on brand with like Rockstar's partners.
Sure.
I already had Mickey Thompson's, I already did PRP. Like all the brands that I was using because I liked them.
But it was like it was unintentional. You didn't
it was completely unintentional.
I'm not building this Jeep to get on.
Oh, totally.
The Great American Crawl.
I had no idea.
You're just like, these are good parts.
Yeah, like I had followed Rockstar Garage, obviously, but it wasn't like, oh, I know these guys, I'm going to try to build my Jeep to get in with them. So they were nice enough, like, hey, come out and wheel with us for the week. We'll be out here. So went out there and spent the entire week out there with them, got in with them, and, it's kind of been the same ever since. Like,
nice.
Started getting.
That was your first trip, was Moab?
That was my first trip.
From Florida?
From Florida. Never wheeled out of Florida.
Ruined.
Ruined.
No,
absolutely.
No. I think Moab's a great first trip.
That's why I say you're ruined because you're spoiled.
Yeah, that's a great. Because it's a great first trip.
So we just did Moab, and like, I had been to Moab, but I never really wheeled hard in Moab. I didn't really like. I had a stock Frontier when I lived out there, and like, just would run dirt roads and explore the desert. Like, I didn't do any of the rock trails.
Right.
And I mean, we've all wheeled here. You know the East Coast wheeling, and every obstacle we'd pull up to and be like, I don't know. He was riding with me. I'm like, do I put the lockers on? He's like, yeah, try it, and just whoop,
right.
drive right over. And it's like there's no business for like on the East Coast, that rock would take us an hour to get 4 Jeeps over,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we'd be winching.
Oh yeah,
And it's just like it's just not fair.
And
That's just how it is.
PJ's Jeep was the lowest common denominator with 35s and a limited slip in the back.
yeah,
yeah.
And it did everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
So that was the
wild.
first trip out of Florida wheeling, like no
Yeah.
East Coast
You
wheeling. either.
and like you committed to. You're like, I'm doing this. I'm buying a diesel. I'm buying a trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking hauling ass.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you worked a lot of overtime.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I don't
That's
know
where
what
I had
Florida's.
so much time
Yeah.
to research everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At work.
Oh, yes.
So
So what'd you do in the fire department? Was it so you were working in the fire department when
Yeah.
this build was starting?
yeah, so I started in 2015. First career job with local county, and started with them, and you know, almost 10 years to the well, not to the day. A couple months shy of 10 years is when I left for Steal It.
Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, long time. The right job came along at the right time.
Nope.
Truck guy or engine guy?
What's that?
You truck guy or engine guy?
We're 2-man truck guys. So
2-man truck.
2-man. Well, engine.
Yeah.
We don't do truck and engine and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Florida's weird. They have
it's
you guys have
very
your
weird.
own academy and all that
It's-
stuff.
Yeah, it's very weird. So we
Yeah.
had 2-man engines in a rural county. It has rural spots, but like the county's so big that there's super populated areas. Here's the weird thing though, is our county ran with cities, and our county transported for cities as well. So it was all this like interconnected stuff. So the politics were horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what drove me out of there. The politics sucked.
Yeah.
Like, you
I,
know,
I worked in a department like that.
Yeah.
yeah, it got bad.
Yeah. I
So,
believe that.
and there was no end in sight. Commissioners weren't backing us.
Because you guys keep showing up to work every day, and trucks go out the door. So why should they care?
We
Yeah.
were driving to the middle, and so I worked in this very rural area at the station I was actually stationed, or the department I was stationed at. The actual station was out in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of crap out there.
Yeah.
So we would go to we're gonna cardiac arrest and be out there for 30 minutes working it.
Yeah. And it
No-
took you 15
no
minutes to
ambulance
get there.
coming. No,
Yeah.
no, right around the corner.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, like we're out there in it.
Yeah.
So we'll sit here and work them for 30 minutes.
Yep.
So it got really, really bad. There was a point in time where we had outside counties coming in to help us, like just because we couldn't keep up with it.
That's not fun. That's not fun when you also have to collect a paycheck in the process.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, no.
it's, that takes the fun out of the job for sure.
It sucked.
Yeah.
It sucked. It got bad for a while, but at the end of the day, I mean, it was a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked.
Still
I mean,
the best job in the world,
Right.
even if it's
right,
for free.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
I'd argue it now.
Yeah,
Doing what I do.
fair
What
enough.
you do now?
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
I left for I loved it. I loved the guy that I worked with, the
Yeah.
lieutenant that I worked with. Yeah, it was 2-man stations with one with a lieutenant. And one,
Yeah. That's how it was. Where
Oh, there he is.
Oh,
oh,
hi there.
the
That's-
thickest
that's
of boys.
rigs.
Yeah, it's
Hi
rigs.
there.
It's the other rigs. It's new rigs.
Yeah. New rigs. Same color. New rigs.
Yeah.
Shorter.
Shorter and fatter.
Same weight.
We have our shop dog is named Riggs.
Oh, nice.
Uh,
Nice. Our media guys. Here's a tip: when we turn,
yeah.
we put a GoPro on in most of our Jeeps, and they let it run all day long.
Yeah.
And so they'll sync it up. Like in the morning, he'll clap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he'll timestamp it and sync it up.
Yep.
That way, everything is
Yeah.
easy to do.
That's normally what we do.
Yeah, I've got there's a button on the what's up? We're on a podcast on a GoPro now.
There's camera footage of our camera footage.
Podcastception.
Oh boy! Now they know you. Now they know you use a phone.
That's all right. It works well.
Yeah.
It's better than the freaking webcam I have.
There's some big ass YouTube channels that like you'll catch a reflection. It's like, holy shit, they're filming with an iPhone.
Well, that's what got me is Cleat. Cleat uses an iPhone.
Yeah.
If you look at
Yeah.
what Squirrel's holding an iPhone the entire time. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna
You never have to worry about losing a memory card.
yeah.
If it works, it works.
Yep.
Where were we? Fire department, 2-guy department,
Yeah.
Rural.
Mess.
rural. You quit your job and you
Disaster.
went to steal
Coilovers.
it. Best
Yeah.
job in the world.
Yeah. A little bit of all of it.
Yeah.
A little bit of all of it.
Yeah.
So what phase is your Jeep in now? How many times have you rebuilt it?
So I would say I wouldn't even technically this is a new Jeep. If
Oh,
you want to be
geez.
really technical about it,
Get a frame.
I got parts of a frame and then I got a new body and like it was a little bit of everything.
All right.
So after I started traveling, I'm like, okay, cool. I've been to a couple events. I went to Roush with it like it was.
Okay.
So Dana 44s and 40s. That's a
Perfect.
Good.
Typically, people don't do that. That's kind of
but in a
no-no,
TJ,
like-
Yeah, but if you're a good driver in a TJ with a 4-liter,
Well, they were-
TJs are light.
that I did everything you could do to those
Yeah.
axles.
Yeah.
I did ball joints. I seated. I sleeved it
Yep.
inside and out.
Yeah.
I put RCVs in it. I had 538s. I mean,
It's a-
I did
yeah.
anything that you could do
your,
to
your
them.
weak point's the ring gear, and what's that? Almost a 9-inch ring gear.
Eight and a half.
something.
Yeah,
It's like
but
8.5.
That's still pretty solid.
8.8 in the
The
rear.
locker was the weak point.
Yeah.
The locker was a weak point because I went to Roush and was trying to follow people I shouldn't have followed.
Yeah.
And, grenaded the locker. But you can see that on video as well. So, in our crawl videos.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
So pretty much all of my wheeling experience is on their page. So
That's cool.
That's wild. That's so cool.
It's cool. So
I think the fun part for that though is like just being able to have it because like
yeah.
we'll do trips and we'll finish the trip and be like, did anybody take pictures? No.
oh, that sucks.
never.
Yeah, and then it's like, and then we take one picture before we leave camp, and it's like, all right, cool, see you guys next year.
Yeah.
The nice thing about the podcast is now we record all of our memories after the fact,
Yeah.
and we talk
Yeah.
of how we remember it.
And we do remember to
we
take more pictures.
We do compare stories, and it does get better. I'd like to do video eventually. It's just doing
Maybe
YouTube
we'll
videos
have a
too.
media team one day.
Maybe
There you go. There you go.
Rockstar Garage.
Hey, I know a couple guys if
Yeah.
you need some tips.
Hell yeah.
So-
Those
Do they
fucking-
work for free?
Those Bronco guys keep setting off car alarms all day long.
Those damn Overlanders,
Damn
man.
Overlanders.
What's a car alarm?
yeah. Your doors lock?
Yeah.
You got doors?
The back of my Jeep has been open all day.
Right.
Say it's not mine. No, okay, that's a. I don't know.
Yeah.
The worst is at night when you're camping down here and somebody opens their door and their headlights come on.
I have earplugs for the sounds at night.
I'm not
here.
worried about the sound. I'll sleep through sounds. Last year, what got me was because I was up high in the truck.
Yeah.
And like we were in the same spot last year, and the parking lot that's up a little bit, they just opened the door and there would just be bright LED
dude,
headlights
it was so
straight
bad.
through my tent.
Oh,
That's kind of why I chose a spot in the back this year.
Yeah, it's a
good
good spot.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all your wheeling experiences recorded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Pretty much.
Your
So-
Jeep is not the same Jeep. How? So did you like cut the first TJ up and make it this Jeep, or is it
So-
like the first TJ exists somewhere?
So the first couple, I would say 2 years maybe of having the TJ, that was like version 1 of it. I built it up. I bed lined it. It's funny because I bed lined it almost the same gray as Steel It. Like I just love that gray.
Yeah.
So I bed lined it. I did everything I could to it. Had long arms, 35s, like 3 or 4 inch lift, but it was great.
Yeah.
So that was, I think, version 1. I would say. Version 2 was the coilovers, Dana 44s. Everything was painted in Steel It. I did Poison Spider cage, did some seats, just some basic stuff. Still had a 4-liter. Stretched it to 102. So I actually, what I did was I took the front bumper and I took that cross member in between them out in the frame.
Okay.
And I put the winch in the steering box in there.
Oh, nice.
Turn the steering box, put a flat pitman arm in it, got a few more inches out of the front. Did that, had a rock crawler kit on it.
All from YouTube. All learning this on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
And just
Oh,
trial.
And messaging everybody I knew.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's not
It's
that
not that hard,
difficult.
yeah.
It's just time consuming. And like the nice thing on like a TJ platform is it's not anything new, like, especially like in the prime of COVID. Like
Right.
just everybody, not downplaying the build. It's just it's been done 100 times.
Right.
So it's easy to get the information to do it.
Exactly. Now I want to do it my way. Everybody's got experience doing it.
So
Exactly.
you're probably our age. You're probably what early mid 30s.
32.
32. So
Yeah.
our age. You're a young man. Were you doing this in an apartment like parking lot, or did you have a garage? Where were you working on this Jeep? Because
You can plead the fifth if necessary.
yeah.
I was doing this in a 2-car garage.
Okay.
Yeah. Did it in a 2-car garage.
That sounds
and-
comfortable, actually. Oh,
Yeah,
look,
it
Well,
does.
I was
Another
sharing
dog.
it.
Another dog.
I was sharing it for a while with my brother.
Okay.
And it got really cramped. It was whose turn is it to have a project in the garage? Because
Ah,
he's into old Fords.
Okay.
nice.
So he had his 78 in there. I had the Jeep in there. It was a whole lot of back and forth. But
This dog piss on your tent?
Excellent. Good thing I've got a tent sitting on layaway right now.
This is the last night you have to sleep in this tent.
Second to last night.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you can't pick it up.
I can't pick it up till Sunday.
Yeah. Future past. Tim Duck.
Yikes. I told her I was buying a tent.
Yeah.
surprise.
I didn't tell her how much the tent
I love
cost.
that that dog just wandered in here,
Pissed on camera.
pissed on your tent, and just walked out. It didn't like stick around to get pet. It didn't sniff anything. It just walked over.
Said
Thank you very much.
3 smelly dudes shoes and black t-shirts. Let's fucking pee over here and walk away.
Dogs are the
shit.
best. I love dogs.
Dogs are pretty cool. Dogs are cool.
But yeah, I mean, like, did you borrow tools? Did you buy tools? Like,
No, I was buying tools as I
yeah,
went. You know,
that's almost
building-
as expensive as the build.
Well, my brother, like,
He's
he
still
was,
paying off. It's a Macco truck.
Yeah, that's his third job. He's
Yeah,
actually a tool
third
truck.
job.
Tool
Yeah,
truck
I
dealer.
actually drive it for him.
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
No, my brother had a good stash of tools. He had more tools before I did. He's
Okay.
8 years younger than me.
Yeah.
He was pulling apart, go-karts and trucks
Yeah.
and anything that had a motor in it since he was, this big. So
So how is the learning to build it process gone for like reliability of the Jeep? Like, have you had breakdowns and failures and like, I didn't do that right?
So as far as like the first rendition of the Jeep,
Yeah.
I only had one major break, and that was the locker. And that's
Okay.
because I shouldn't have been where I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was the JK44s and all that stuff.
Yes. As far as actually doing the build, I had those axles under the Jeep driving 3 different times
Okay.
before I said, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had it under there. I had the wrong wheels and tires on there that,
Sure.
I had old mud graps on there that
Yeah.
was pulling it all over the place.
Yep,
And
yep.
I had the steering box in the wrong spot. I had 2 or 3 different fuel cells.
Yeah.
Like, just every issue that you could have, I had it
Yep.
while I was building it.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, cool. That doesn't work. Sell all that stuff. Buy all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of back and forth.
I feel better now because I have a YJ project that every time it leaves the garage, something breaks.
That's how it goes.
And
Don't feel bad.
yeah, I mean, and I know to an extent it's how it goes, but I'm also like, I feel like I shouldn't be having these problems.
When you're building
trial
it,
by
it
error, yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks
yeah.
when you're building
Yeah.
it. You're like, oh, great. I got to
Yeah.
pull these axles out and cut all these brackets off.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, I feel like I got lucky with the XJ because I did a lot of all the parts I have are bolt-on parts, but we
Yeah.
threw it together. The gears we didn't know what we were doing when we did the gears.
No, it was literally the first gear job we ever did was your Cherokee.
and they're still holding together. But
Yeah.
yeah, luckily I haven't had to tear it apart and put it together, and
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was doing when I built that.
Yeah.
But I think I just got lucky with.
No, I mean you put enough effort in. I don't want to call it lucky. Like you figured out what you wanted to do with it,
Yeah.
and run with it.
that's the one thing I
But-
didn't do.
Yeah.
Figure
The
out what you
gears.
want.
No,
Oh,
the
the
gears.
gears,
Yeah,
okay.
that's the one thing I did not do.
Yeah.
I had somebody do that. That's one thing. I was like, all right.
Thankfully, I have.
I got a lot of patience, but
Yeah.
eh,
I mean, I've been wrenching on stuff. Like I went to Votech High School. I've been a mechanic
Right.
for years, and I had done a little bit of gear work, but never like serious gear work. And when he was talking about gear in his XJ, I'm like, I'll do it.
Right.
And he goes, you know how? I was like, we'll figure it out,
Right.
one way or the other. And it
YouTube
was-
Academy.
Well, yeah, and it was,
To all the customers listening, this was like 2018.
yeah,
he's
yeah,
good
yeah,
now.
Yeah. No, we're much better now.
This is
But to
pre-shop.
that point, my our buddy Dan Walsh came down. The two of us tag team welding the truss on and putting the axles together, and it took us 3 days.
Yeah.
Now it's a day and a half to turn gears and a truss around at the shop.
Right.
And we only usually set it up twice. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, yep, make this adjustment, done.
But
Doable.
you got the
Doable.
hard part down. You know how to weld. That's the biggest thing, I think.
Enough.
I
know.
honestly argue
Enough. I've seen what you do to that Jeep.
so the deeper I've gotten into this world, and I'm curious to see how it's from like a DIYer perspective.
Right.
Gears specifically are very gate kept, especially in the off-road industry. They're tedious. You need to know what you're doing and you need to have the right tools. But if you have all of that and a little bit of knowledge, it's not that difficult. If you take your time and you're not trying to turn around and make money doing it, anybody can learn to set up gears.
Yeah.
Reasonable.
And I make the same argument for welding. It's the act of physically welding and melting the two pieces of metal together is easy. It's making the adjustment to the welder and reading your weld, just like gears, where reading your pattern and knowing what adjustments to make and how to make your weld better, and like recognizing, oh, that's worse, I need to do this differently. And it's just trial and error. It's just figuring it out. Once you figure it out, it's super easy to weld.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I think, and this is me not knowing gears, I
Sure.
think there's less room for error with gears.
100%. That I
That's
agree
why
with.
welding
It
is
costs
a
more to
little,
fuck up.
Yeah, it's a very
Yeah.
it's a very expensive mistake, which is why I think people are intimidated by it. But like I've talked to guys who are like, "Oh yeah, I used to like rebuild motors back in the 80s," and I'm like, "You could easily learn to gear your axles."
Right.
Like it's a couple torque wrenches, reading a spec sheet, and just having some patience. Where it's difficult from a shop perspective is I can't take a week to do one axle just because I want to get it perfect. Like, you have to be good at it to do it quickly.
Especially for the highway stuff.
Right.
Like for the rednecks we meet on the trails that just hot swap gears in their driveway.
Yeah.
And for the trail.
Yeah, they're not even running a pattern on it. Like, 3 Ugas and a Dugga, and away we go. Like,
they mesh together.
Yeah,
Good.
it's
Perfect.
the wheels move. It doesn't bind. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I chipped a tooth. Oh well.
Can't hear it anyways over the motor.
Yeah.
Change the oil, we'll be good to go.
Oh, the gears whine a little bit. Just cut the muffler off. So, like,
turn the radio up.
Sounds like an XJ.
Yeah. But I am learning now because, like, we're getting into shock building.
Okay.
And the shock world is so much worse than anything else.
That's a whole nother science right there.
Right. And that's like it's an expensive science, and it's hard to find people to let you experiment on their crap.
That's a very involved science too. Like pulling like if you're in a shop and you can pop a rear end out.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
No.
Pulling a shock out?
Yeah.
Like
and that vehicle's on that lift now because it has no shocks.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Or like if you've got like regular shocks, I could see reasonable.
Sure.
You know, on a JK with springs and everything.
Yeah.
Coilovers?
Full coilover
Same
building?
deal? Okay.
Dual
cool.
spring,
Just
dual
pop it-
rating.
Pop it right out.
Yeah, you start getting into the bypass world, and like the part that annoys me is outside of a handful of companies, nobody wants to give you the information.
Pretty much.
Period. And it's like I'm sitting here like I'm a business, I'm doing you a favor by maintaining your product for your customer, and you don't want to give me a torque spec.
Yeah.
Or it takes you 5 days to get back to me, and it's like I just figured it out on my own. Like,
There's only 2 people I've called about. So when I had the coilovers, I didn't do any tuning. I just bought them from the factory, didn't touch them.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, cool. We can tune these.
Yeah.
So I called 2 different people. I called Filthy Motorsports, is like one of the shock gurus.
King,
And then there's one shop in Florida, Track and Trail.
Okay.
Which, O-Ring that does Ultra 4.
Yep.
He co-drives in an Ultra 4 rig.
Okay.
They do some shock tuning, and they're in Florida. So I've called and asked questions, but never torn open.
Filthy is
shock.
great.
Yeah.
Filthy and King are the go-to the point where like I just want to put Kings on everything, but nobody has the budget for Kings, including myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I have a customer with it's a JL on 40s and 60s, and it's got Kings, and we've rebuilt them 4 or 5 times at this point.
Right.
Like he just beats the piss out of them.
Once you know how to do it.
Yeah. And like I had the last time we rebuilt them, I got cocky with it and like had bled all the nitrogen out and was just like chit-chatting and disassembling it at the same time, and there had been nitrogen that had pushed past the O-rings, and like there was fluid and nitrogen and still had some pressure on it, and as soon as the cap came off, it blew the IFP across the shop. And I called King and was like, did I fuck up? Like what did I do wrong? And they're like, oh no, that happens when like the O-rings go bad. Like, you're good. Like, here's the part number for the IFP, you can just order it and replace it. And I was like, oh, all right, well, that was easy. But then I call like, Fox, and they're like, nah, those aren't field serviceable. I'm like, yes, they are field serviceable. Yeah, no, you have to send...
I got taken apart in front of me.
Like,
tell me how to put it back together.
You have to send that back to the factory. I was like, no, I don't. Like, just give me the parts. Give me a rebuild kit. So, yeah. I don't know.
You're not cool enough
that's my
not
rant.
cool enough to get parts, I guess.
Apparently.
Not on the secret list.
Yeah. I don't know. I got to figure out how to get on the secret list. Go to Hammers and just bug Bilstein and
race car things.
Yeah, race car thing. Yeah, I know.
Build a race car.
Yeah, that's his shitbox.
Yep, eventually.
It's a cage and about $1 million away from being a race car.
Push that race schedule up.
Yeah.
Up the priority list.
Yeah, it's it's very much on the list. But
of the events you've been to, like big events, what's been your favorite for Great American Crawl, and then maybe for just Steel It events that you've been invited to?
So Steel It events, I've not done a ton. I mean, I've just been doing it this year.
Okay.
The Formula Drift events are really cool. The one thing that I can't stand is that most of the time the booth is nowhere near the track.
That's annoying.
So you're hearing cool things go on, and you're sitting in the booth.
Oh, you can smell race fuel and smell burning rubber, and you can hear it.
Yeah.
And you can hardly talk over it, but you can't see it.
And you're sitting there crying.
Would you like to buy some spray paint?
Watching the live stream on YouTube on your phone.
You joke. Like,
No, I know.
I've got the live stream a lot of the time pulled up. But that being said, it's great. I still love it.
Yeah.
But like Formula Drift Atlanta, Atlanta is one of the tracks at Road. What is it?
Road America.
Road America. Yeah, that is a really cool track. Those guys come down that main hill, and they're over 100, and they
wild.
just yeet it sideways, and like they go around that little figure eight, and that's
so
a really
wild.
cool track to watch.
Going 100 down that hill in a straight line is probably terrifying.
Doing it sideways,
Doing it
like 90 degrees sideways.
Yeah. 3 inches from another car, also 90 degrees sideways.
Yeah.
Oh, and you can't see the other car because of the smoke.
Yeah, pretty much. So that was a really cool drift event. Smoky Mountain was pretty cool. It was very, very busy. It was a very productive event for us.
Yeah,
it's on our list for 1 year eventually to get down to Smoky Mountain.
It's like a lot of Jeep shows, though. You go to them, you see a little bit of everything.
Yeah, that's
check it
the
off
point.
the list.
So I would say do it at once.
Yeah.
But, you know, plan on needing 2 hours to get anywhere.
Yeah.
And, you know.
One of our buddies who has a nice rock buggy. And
you
and
know
a
Tommy.
Crew. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They make that trip every year, and they spend, like, when everybody's at the show and the vendor show, they go to, like, Windrock and wheel.
The smart thing to do.
And then everybody that leaves the show then goes to Windrock, and then they're already home.
Yeah.
Right.
They spend, like, a night or two in town, and that's it.
The smart thing to do.
Yeah, it's
half of the guys that are at Smoky Mountain aren't wheeling anyways.
Right. Yeah. They never are.
Yeah.
They've never seen a trail.
It's a different kind of Jeep community,
Yeah.
which, I mean, once you see it, you see it.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was still a fun event. It was very productive for us.
That's
as a
what I
company,
always hear.
Like brand awareness and all that kind of stuff.
They've heard it's
but-
very good for networking and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. There's everybody
Yeah.
and their brothers there.
In the mall crawler world, it's worth going to, like,
Yeah.
for everybody. Where, like, Ocean City Jeep Week, just everyone's always like, "No, it's not worth the trip. It's not worth the time." Like,
yeah. That's what I hear about that.
That's how I feel about Jeep Beach too. Is like it's
Yeah.
not worth the trip down to Florida for Jeep
Not
Beach.
anymore. No,
It's all
really.
just everyone getting
Go to
pulled
Smokey.
over by cops.
Go
and-
to Smoky and you'll have the same experience, except you'll see mountains or you'll see ocean.
Yeah.
yeah. I was if I'm gonna live through that experience, I'd rather.
If I'm gonna live through that.
I'd rather be in Tennessee.
If you're gonna make me.
Yeah, if you're gonna make me look at 24s on a Jeep, like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
But
it's all
that
part
was
of it,
fun. I think the best crawl that I've been to, though, like this year, Bear Wallow really, and I'm not just saying that because like
That's
that's
up north,
close
right?
to you guys. Bear Wallow,
No,
West
it's West
Virginia.
Virginia.
Is it West Virginia? Oh,
Yeah.
it's the one that just happened.
Yeah. I'm not saying that because it was close to you guys and like I like that area. That was a really, really cool place.
Yeah.
West Virginia is. I know. I do
It's
it
the
on
hidden
West
gem.
Virginia all the time.
Yeah.
West Virginia is one of the
Yeah.
coolest places in the country.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
It was the area we were at was so I don't know if you know him, Beck, Eric Beck with Beck Fab. He was out there and he was one of our like main leads. He's got a shop. He does a lot of road cages.
It's on the western side of the state, isn't it? Bear
I
Wallow.
believe so. I think
I thought it was like it's not like part of the Hatfield McCoys, but it's like in that.
it is.
Okay.
It is part of it.
Yeah,
okay.
it is.
Okay. Oh well, I wasn't sure if it was officially in that trail network, but it's like in that general area.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. You have to go to that site to get
Okay.
any kind of info.
Check
for
it. Okay.
So, but
I know they've expanded that site too, so maybe that was
Yeah.
part of the expansion.
Yeah. So yeah, he came out and he was kind of our lead for that weekend. He had a full blown rock bouncer, but he took us on pretty much everything. We said take us on everything that's really difficult but not completely stupid, and he did.
Yeah.
And that place was so cool. It had traction on pretty much everything.
Yeah.
You could do East Coast, like typical East Coast rock bouncing out there.
Yeah.
But you also had enough traction where if you wanted to crawl something, you could.
Right.
So
That's cool.
and that's what I really loved because
Yeah.
there was times where like everybody was out there and all pumped and was bouncing off rocks, and then areas we were crawling through.
Yeah.
So really cool. Like that place a lot.
Controversial question.
Our list is getting longer than it is shorter.
I know.
It's a problem.
East Coast or West Coast? Since you've been everywhere.
Well, I
have a-
wouldn't
I
say
have a
I've been everywhere. So
I
I've
have a
been
follow-up question to that too.
I've been to Moab twice.
Yep.
Moab's cool. I've been to Colorado.
Colorado is
Haven't-
high on my list.
Yeah.
Very high on my
Haven't-
list.
That's more of an overlanding trip for me,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Well, it depends on where you go.
Well,
Rock landing.
if like doing Colorado,
Carnage
I want to cover a lot of ground in Colorado.
Yeah.
So like doing it as an
Yeah.
overlanding trip is, in my mind, worthwhile versus just going out and like going to Grand Junction and
Yeah.
running
Right.
heavy trails.
Right. So I've been there. I've been to Moab. I've been to Colorado. Haven't been too many places out west other than that.
Okay.
So you kind of say Moab or East Coast. I mean,
Which we
So-
have put Moab in its own category.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, like
It
I would
is.
even almost include Colorado in that because the western half of Colorado is Red Rock, and then you have like a completely different section, which is all alpine, which you can then tag into Montana and Wyoming and Idaho and all the other areas. But like, I don't know. When I think West Coast, I think like New Mexico, Southern California, like Arizona, like that southeast corner.
Yeah.
Right.
Where my follow-up question is, do you consider Moab the West Coast or its own thing? Because like it, like that southeast is not the same as Moab, right? Like you basically have Sand Hollow and Moab in its own category in the state of Utah, but all your East Coast wheeling is very similar. If you're in Tennessee or West Virginia, you're gonna get relatively the same experience.
Right. Well, being that I'm on the East Coast and I go to more East Coast events, I would say I'm more East Coast I'm more pro East Coast than I am West Coast.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really cool spots on the East Coast that you can do West Coast type stuff.
I agree. Yeah.
As far as is Moab its own thing?
Yeah.
How far do you want to push that line though? Like, is Red Rock its own thing?
Yeah, I think that's really what it comes down to is Red Rock.
Because Sand Hollow is the same.
Like, that's why I say like
that
Utah. You can really make it Utah and Red Rock because it is. You're right. Like Grand Junction is a lot of Red Rock. Like it is that circle.
That area.
That area is very unique.
I'm gonna say it's not its own thing because there's areas out west, like even in Texas.
Yeah.
Like if you've ever done any kind of reading or research on like K2 and Kitemsey and like those places, Wolf Caves, like that rock, you think there's traction in Moab on Red Rock?
Yeah.
Like out in there, it's like lava rock.
Okay.
Wild.
Yeah. So they've done a couple crawls there. I haven't been fortunate enough to go to those.
Yeah.
But from what I hear, like you think there's traction out west, go down to Texas to some of those parks.
I think we're gonna have to make a West Coast trip and interview some West Coast people and see. And then, you know what? Better yet, instead of us going to the West Coast, why don't the West Coast boys come here?
Oh,
and then,
good luck.
Yeah, for real.
But to that point, like, I don't know. It's just such a debated thing because it's like, we on the East Coast know what we have,
right?
And the West Coast guys are like, you guys don't have wheeling, and it's like, no, we have wheeling, and like we have wheeling that will make you.
Half the people here got stuck coming in the parking lot.
Yeah, they got stuck in a field, and it's like I get it. Like the irony is, I feel like the East Coast has a ton of overlanders that would love the West Coast. And the West Coast rock crawler guys stick to the West Coast. And it's like, no, you would love the East Coast.
Yeah.
Like, this whole crowd should pick up and go to Arizona.
Yeah.
And then all the guys in Southern California and Arizona should pick up and come here. And this should be a rock crawling event.
The real differing line is, do you like bouncing off rev limiter and bouncing up stuff?
Dude,
But
so
who
much
doesn't?
fun. Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
Well, there's people that don't.
I mean, I don't like to break things either. But
on my payment Jeep, no, I do not want to do that.
Yeah.
On my XJ that hasn't run in a year and a half, I want to fucking roll the thing.
The other thing is that goes both ways. The West Coast guys or the Go Fast guys, they don't like to crawl. I've got a buddy. I have a buddy in Miami. You've probably seen
like you're talking about the desert racer guys, like the guys that just want to bomb the desert at 100 miles an hour.
No. Like I've got a buddy in Miami, and Danny, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. He
talk shit. It's okay.
Danny Trail Hunters Miami.
Okay.
I don't know if you know his shop. He's got a YJ that's turned into basically a race car.
Okay.
As race car as you can get, and he does not like to drive slow on anything.
Sure.
So,
but we have buddies like that out here too.
He doesn't want to go out west.
I've got a good buddy in West Virginia that can't drive slow for his life.
He wants
just
to
rolled
go,
he just rolled his WJ.
All he wants to do out west is hammers, and that's it. He doesn't want to go anywhere else on the West Coast.
Which I get to an extent.
And absolutely. So he does, he's on rev limiter on everything.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love it. Like, love him to death.
Yeah.
So
I like when other people are on the rev limiter and bouncing off of rocks.
It's fun.
Yeah. Well, and that's like I get it. Like I think I giggle about it. Like it's fun. Like I get excited when you hear motor rev and tire squeal. Like it is exciting. But I'm also, what are you doing?
I'm not tall enough for this.
You're just getting your entire ass on the video. It wasn't
light.
It's gonna make a difference here in a little bit.
It's fair.
Listen, I'm the producer.
Okay.
That's a shot of my ass for you guys.
That was behind the scenes of the studio lighting.
There we go.
Milwaukee.
Like
Brought to you by Milwaukee, Rockstar, and Gearhead Coffee.
God, I would give up every potential sponsor to get a Milwaukee sponsorship.
Oh my
Not
goodness.
Gearhead Coffee though. Thank you, Gearhead Coffee.
I love my Gearhead Coffee, but I also really love my Milwaukee M18 batteries.
Hey, you need Milwaukee to make a coffee maker. Then you can
Amen.
make a Gearhead Coffee, and
Fair.
there you go.
I'll tell you what, if Milwaukee makes a coffee maker, I will open up
I
credit
keep
cards to
seeing
afford
those
it.
memes online where it's the AI
Yeah,
Milwaukee
I
coffee
know.
maker. I'm like, someone make this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the irony is we probably could just plug a Keurig into the M18 battery, and now they have the new what do they call them? Like the X-Force batteries or
Yeah.
whatever. These things are wild.
Sorry, I
Yeah,
interrupted
anyway.
you. Keep telling
That
your
was,
story.
What store was we talking about?
West Coast Go Fast Rev Limiter.
Oh.
Oh, I
Pals.
made fun of Jed for rolling his WJ.
Oh.
I didn't. Is that why he got the
No,
Gladiator?
it just happened.
Oh shit!
It just happened.
Breaking
like
news.
2 weeks ago.
Where
Oh
at?
jeez.
His backyard.
Oh. Okay.
Jesus.
He was, apparently he was practicing cornering in his backyard one night, and he fucking...
Practicing cornering.
I
in his
don't know,
backyard?
dude. I love Jed to death.
He was ready to come out to one of our events because a lot of times at our crawls we'll do barrel racing.
I'm into that.
So you do barrel
Yeah.
racing with your
Yeah.
Jeep.
Yeah.
And that is so much fun.
All right.
It gets really competitive.
You'll have to let us
so-
know what the 25 schedule is. I don't know. You could probably go back through our episodes and pick out every event that I've said. I'm going to finish the YJ by this event, and we're going to this event. And it's still on jack stands in my garage.
Right.
But I don't know. One of these days. Now that I have the JK, we can at least go to the event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
A lot of us have passenger seats. Come hop in and ride
I'm
with
down,
us.
man. I love a passenger seat.
I get motion sick.
I'm
really
an
easy.
absolute whore for a passenger seat.
I have to drive. I have to.
Oh,
I
okay,
can't. I cannot
okay.
ride shotgun.
That's what PJ's doing this weekend. PJ's riding passenger
Yeah, with Tommy. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I love a passenger
Yeah,
seat.
PJ's got the buggy bug. It's
Yeah, he's got the buggy bug bad.
yeah.
Which you've got the buggy bug because you pretty much built a buggy around a
A
TJ.
little bit.
See, I like the style of like what your build is. Like that's what I'm doing with the YJ.
Because it looks
like,
super clean. It looks
Yeah.
like, oh, that could be street legal.
Yeah.
Oh, full hydro
Yeah.
steering,
So,
yeah.
tons.
yeah. So,
Absolutely.
Kind of going back to what we were talking about, like after that second version of the Jeep and hanging out with the Rockstar guys, I was like, okay, cool. Like I see what real wheeling is. Like
yeah.
extreme wheeling is. Like I want to do that.
Yep. Yep.
So to do that and tear down what I had, like I had so many problems.
Yeah.
You know, going back and finding like different things that I missed just from a builder standpoint.
Sure,
Like
yeah.
you live and learn. So
Yep.
I
It's
ended
part of the
up
process.
I ended up taking that frame and I sold parts of the frame. I scrapped parts of it. I sold parts of the body. Scrapped the rest of it.
Yep.
That like the cage that I welded wasn't
piece
worth
it together,
selling.
yeah.
I pieced it out essentially. I sold the everything from the frame down: suspension, axles, wheels, tires, and the seats, to all to one guy, and I
Damn.
still keep up with him. So
All
he's
right.
got it under an LJ, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
So and he lives in Florida near me.
Why are there
So-
so many rock crawlers in Florida?
Because there's nothing else to do in Florida than go to
I'm
the beach or
saying
build
the
rock
opposite.
crawlers.
I'm saying the opposite. Where are all the rock crawlers? Because I have,
You apparently know them all.
Yeah, fair.
I know. Well, the one
All
guy
four
that
of
bought
them.
all my all four.
I don't know. Yeah, we have a bunch of rock crawlers, but I always, and I say this lovingly to like any of our friends that are West Virginia rock crawlers, but like, it's all like redneck crawling.
There's a
Yeah.
whole different level of.
Yeah, like
once you put a level of redneck in it, it changes.
yeah,
It's so much
like
fun.
they're just in like second gen Forerunners with the roof cut off and leaf springs, and they're just
Oh, that kind of redneck.
yeah,
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
like every like,
Boy's named Bubba.
yeah, like
Oh.
like limiting straps. Nah, I got chain. We're good. Like like it's just it's crazy because that same rig will go and run the same trails that you're on,
Yeah.
and like they just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But it's like I want to do like bougie rock crawling things,
Mm-hmm.
like, and like I feel like they're like that's what lacks here. It's either a full buggy,
Yeah.
or it's like I mean, and I'll admit I'm I am the redneck crawler. My last functional trail rig was a '97 ZJ that we called Scrap Heap because I built it out of parts from the used parts pile at the shop.
There you go.
And it was JK, like stock JK springs, get a 2-inch lift. I sawzalled the shit out of the fenders, fit 33s, no locker, stock axles, and I ran the thing for 5 years, running intermediate to hard trails, trail guiding Rubicons on 37s. Like, they just didn't care.
Yeah, we would have millions of dollars. He'd be got in one
Yeah.
group with millions of dollars.
Literally, we did the
Jake-
math.
or
There was literally
JLs.
$1 million worth of Jeep behind me one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the
And-
same thing with me.
And I was in a $200 Jeep.
It's fantastic.
If it works, it works.
Right. Oh, and like everyone would look at it and be like, "Oh my god, like your Jeep is so built." I'm like, "It's literally junkyard parts on clearance tires that I paid $100 a piece for."
But then we'd make it over an obstacle.
And
They'd
wheel
be like,
spacers.
they'd be like, "Can I make it over?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, your Jeep is 1,000 times better than mine.
yeah,
just
right,
drive.
yeah.
Just
And-
let the Jeep do its thing."
Do I need to like are your lockers on? They've been on. you're gonna make it over that. Like, like
Yeah.
you're good.
It's funny because sometimes I get that itch. Like we got some of those guys that come out and hang out with us and wheel with us at the
Yeah.
crawls. So it's funny watching them. Sometimes it's like you get the itch to.
Why
just,
did I spend all this
just-
money?
No, I don't regret it at all. But sometimes you get the itch to go buy just a jumper.
Yeah.
Just a piece of crap.
And just beat the shit out of it.
Well,
Exactly.
and that's what I keep telling myself. Like my last 5 trail rigs were just junk, and I'm like, I want a nice trail rig, and I'm trying to put effort and build the YJ correctly. And then it's just like 2 years later, it's still in the garage, and I'm like, maybe I just run it as junk.
Maybe
for a
I just go
while.
get more junk.
Maybe I just buy more junk. Thanks, Tom. And now I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make this junk nice. Like I literally today I was driving up from Charlotte in it, listening to the lifter tick, and I'm like, maybe I'll just LS swap this. No,
It's
no,
not that bad.
no, it's not that it's bad. It's just I told myself I wasn't gonna mess with it,
Right.
and
He's messing with it.
I'm messing with it. Like I put rock crawler aluminum arms in it last week. Thankfully most of it was done already, but I'm like,
just rear geared the rear end.
I just had to rebuild the rear end, and I'm shopping for wraps so I can wrap it and change the color, and if I change the color, then might as well get seats, and like doing the PRP seat builder, and I'm like,
Dude, that's so addictive. That's
It
one of the
really
most dangerous
is.
It
things.
is.
I built some sweet. They were the JK Bolton seat that they have, like the daily driver. I forget what they call it, but I did the ostrich, like the camel color ostrich insert with black Alcantara and camel piping. Yeah, they were like $4,000 for a set of seats.
Were they heated and cooled?
Yeah, oh yeah, of course. But they were pretty, and they would
Yeah.
look great with that dark green wrap.
Ooh,
Yeah,
That'd be comfortable too.
yeah.
Be really comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I do enjoy about my luxury Overlander is I love bouncing on the trails with my heated seats on the winter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Well, that was when I driving to Charlotte. Left early in the morning. It was a little chilly. Cruising down the highway, I'm like, it's starting to get warm. Oh yeah, this has air conditioning. Like, yeah, that's all right. And it works even better. Like, yeah, it's I don't know. I want nice things, but I also just want to go do dumb shit with my friends.
Yeah.
Because I want to
it's
go
like-
do hood red stuff.
Yeah, it's like I want to do dumb shit with nice stuff. Like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's just difficult.
It's a little more stressful, but it's still fun.
Yeah,
It's more stressful, but I think you have the confidence of being like, oh yeah, I built this. I know what it can do. Like
Right.
with your thing.
yeah.
Well, you
With your
learn.
Jeep, is you're like, this thing's pretty it's pretty fucking badass.
Right.
And watching the trails that you do is like, all right, you got some level of confidence in it after a while. Like, all right, I know
Yeah.
I'm good on this trail.
Right. So like we're just at a year from when Bear Wallow was just shy of 1 year of when the first event that I ever had it at. So this past year, I've really been able to learn.
God, I feel like I've seen your Jeep everywhere. It's gotten a lot of
I've
media
been
the last
everywhere
year.
this year.
Yeah.
I've traveled so much this year. I've been to like 6 or 7 crawls, to Smoky, to EJS, a bunch of other events in between. So
Yeah.
kind of been all over the
It's been
country.
a busy
But
year. Yeah.
oh yeah, so
That's good though. That's again, that's the point of it, right? Like,
oh yeah,
I'm not building the Jeep to sit in my garage.
Yeah.
It just happens to be sitting in my garage.
right.
Like when we'll get to that point.
Yeah.
Everybody, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Well, and that's I think the nice thing is from this, we've built a really nice list of stuff within 6 to 8 hours
Yeah.
or
Oh,
less. That we could spend the next 3 years and not finish that list and just do tons of cool trips and wheeling.
Yeah.
So it's I think that should be a priority soon. But I also want to build a race car and go racing.
I absolutely want to build a race car. I was talking to Chantel at Gearhead about it,
Yeah.
and they raced. That's what they did, was off-road racing before they started the coffee
Oh, no
brand.
shit.
And
Really?
he was which is fucking cool.
No kidding.
He was a co-dog and a UTV. But she's like, yeah, we had to give up the racing to start the brand. I'm like, I know, if we start racing, I'm gonna have to give up hobby wheeling.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the nice thing is we're barely hobby wheeling, so
Not for real. I don't know. I'm going more than you are, but I would really have to give up hobby wheeling.
yeah. Yeah, I mean there's a lot, and like obviously a lot of timing factors involved with it, but we're also like from a logistics standpoint, we can do the racing. We just don't have the budget.
Yeah.
Like his XJ is in a perfect world axles on a roll cage from being a legal 4600 car.
Right.
And like in theory, if we put a cage in it, we can run it tomorrow. Would it finish the race? Probably not.
No, it'd
But-
blow up a 8 1/4.
Yeah, because it was my first
be
gear
fun
job
doing
7
it, though.
years
Fun
ago.
as shit. Do you consider yourself still like a hobbyist when it comes to the off-road? Or are you like a semi-pro, or like how do you consider it? Like what did you
I've
have to
never really thought about
what did you
that.
have to give up to wheel like you do? Because something had to give in your life to do all these cool events.
Yeah, the fire department job.
Yeah, the fire department job. Fair.
Yeah.
Which, if you were
much.
married, she would go, good.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
She'd say, get out of the fire department.
Right.
Go have fun with your life.
Right. I would say, marriage and a kid. I
That's
mean,
fair.
haven't really settled down.
Yeah.
So, don't own a house right now. That kind of, I rent a room for my brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
But you're traveling all the time, so I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
And you're
that'd
living
be,
your
that'd
dream.
be such a waste of money. Even if
Right.
you rented an apartment, that'd be such a waste of money
I
for
live well below my means.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside of my truck, my trailer, my Jeep,
Yeah.
maintaining that stuff, like I live well below my means. So
The argument I'll make, though, for what you're doing, that essentially makes you your money. Like,
Yeah.
if your truck and your Jeep and your trailer are maintained and always there and ready and reliable, like,
now it does.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, and that's at the end of the day, that's your important part, right? Like,
Right.
Do you still house and work on all your junk in Florida?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
I owned a condo a couple years ago. Like I said, live well below my means. Bought a super cheap condo, and ended up renting out a small little industrial, like 20 by 20,
Yep.
still a 2-car garage,
Yep.
just a little industrial space that had power in it. And that's where I've done everything.
Okay.
Cool.
So still have my own little space
Yeah.
that I have everything in. The Jeep lives there, the
Yep.
tools, everything, all the spare parts, everything.
Well, that speaks volumes because you're doing it. I mean, you see Will from Gearhead, not Gearhead, from Grindhard.
From Grindhard.
Oh,
He
yeah.
started his own channel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now he's working out of a storage shed, but it's
Yeah.
got power
Right.
and it's got spaces for 2 cars.
We'd
Yeah.
never,
But he's
we
doing
would
it-
never be able to do that in Northern Virginia.
No, but he's doing it. He's living his dream. Like that's
Right.
It's fucking
Yeah.
cool. It's
Yeah.
fucking really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, you got to sacrifice to do it.
Yeah.
And the tough part for me is, like, you have to really be, and this goes for anybody in Florida.
Motherfucker.
You're supposed to kill those things when you see them, by the way.
Oh, really?
They're,
Yeah,
a
they're
super,
super
invasive
invasive.
species.
Yeah, called lanternflies.
Yeah.
Didn't
I
know that.
flick them off my leg or something, and I step on them.
Yeah.
But I just flicked that one to the bumper, and it died. I saw the guts come out.
Nice.
Nice.
We should make like kill stickers, like fighter jets. Put them on the Jeep.
Kill all lanternflies.
Kill all lanternflies. Special edition T-shirt coming out.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Buy this one first.
Yeah, buy this one.
Overland Expo Special.
Yeah,
Kill all
next year
lanternflies. I do have to make a kill all Ford shirt for
for Calvin.
for Calvin.
I'm waiting for the anti-Jeep Jeep Club shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I told you.
I know that'll be next month. I put this one
Yeah,
together
I
too
know.
fast, and I put it on
Yeah,
social
I know.
media.
The story behind that was we got booted off of our
Shopify, pretty
our
much.
shop. Well, Shopify wasn't the problem. Our print on demand company
Really?
that was making our T-shirts, they were like, "We need a licensing agreement, or we're going to stop producing your stuff." And we're like, "It's not the logo." And they were like, "It's the word Jeep." And I was like,
Yeah.
"It's in the dictionary." And they were like, "Okay, we'll do it ourselves."
Yeah. So my wife bought a Cricut
Yeah.
like a year ago,
Yeah.
and I just started making shirts. I made these two.
I'm
and
hoping
I'll be
we
making
sell
more of
enough
them.
shirts that Jeep contacts us and tells us
Cease and
cease
desist. We tried that with Lamborghini, and
Yeah.
we didn't get it.
Yeah, which that's still on YouTube, so that can still blow up.
Change the font. It won't be the
It
logo.
is. That's what I'm saying. It's not the. Yeah.
I
yeah.
completely ripped off the Lamborghini commercial with my XJ, and I never heard anything.
You know, it's funny though. Ironically, I have a customer who is a DC trademark and copyright lawyer
Oh, boy.
and like patent attorney, and I had like while we were working on his Forerunner, I had a whole conversation with him, and I showed him the video. He goes,
It's parody.
He goes, yeah, he goes, it's parody, and it's not exact.
Right.
Like it's not exactly what they put out there, and if they put it out in public domain, you can use it.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. And then I asked him about the Jeep stuff, and he goes, it's a gray area, but like he's like, unless you're making millions of dollars, Jeep isn't going to give a shit.
Oh, yeah.
Joke's on them. We're not making any dollars.
Yeah, yet.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. Like I said, the best problem we could have is get a cease and desist from Jeep.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
That'd be an
or better yet, from Lamborghini.
That would be an honor.
That'd be an honor.
That's what I'm saying.
Compliment,
Like, yeah, I will gladly discontinue
You
the
know
shirt.
who I am?
Yeah. Or if they want to give us a licensing agreement, we'll give them 0%.
Because we can't afford to.
I'll give them 10% when they build a reliable vehicle. That will be that's the contract we'll make them sign.
So what's speaking of Jeeps being unreliable, what's the powertrain in your Jeep? What'd you put in it?
So, when I was building it, I initially planned on putting the 4-liter back in it.
Oh,
When
okay.
I started the build. things changed though. I was gonna keep the frame, and I was just gonna make some changes.
Yeah.
And I wasn't gonna do a full, like it was gonna be the whole build plan changed drastically.
Are you a
It
full
always does.
aftermarket frame at this point?
No.
Okay.
There's still
3 inches
three or
of
4
stock.
feet.
Okay.
3 or
Take a
4
chance
feet.
quick and restart this.
The center section.
Yeah, the center section.
Are we pausing?
No, keep going.
Okay.
Oh,
So
that is ballsy.
Haha, good for another hour.
Ta-da.
All right.
Okay, so the plan changed a couple times. I was gonna keep the frame and swap the body because the body was cut to hell.
Yeah.
I got really happy with the Sawzall.
Been there.
Yep.
Yeah. I basically made aluminum panels for everything and tried to
Nice.
race car it, but
Yeah.
no, didn't work out. It worked out for a while, but it was good for what it was good for. But
Yeah.
so I was going to keep the frame, decided not to because I had so many issues with it, just, little issues from building it over time, making changes. Like it would have been too pieced together
Yeah.
to do the quality of
To make it
what I
look good.
wanted
Yeah.
and still achieve what I wanted to do. So once I realized like, okay, cool. Well, a new frame is like $2 to $3 grand in Florida for a perfect, like a good
Yep.
quality frame. Like, cool.
That you still have to then modify and
Yeah, exactly.
Cut
So
up.
I'm like,
You're buying a frame just to cut it apart again.
exactly. So I was like, okay, cool. How about I go buy a bent frame for $500 and I'll buy MotoBuild's front and back half kit, and there you go. There's the
Yep.
same amount of money.
Yep.
Like I'm already gonna go with their suspension anyways.
Yeah.
Yep.
So ended up front half, back half, and double triangulated 4-link from them. So I was like, okay, cool. I have got this nice of a frame.
Front half, back half. So there's only like 10% of the original frame left
There's like
to begin with.
3 or 4. Like the body mounts are all on the factory frame.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. So I'm like, okay, cool. I got this really nice frame. Do I really want to put the 4-liter back on this frame?
Yes.
I could not bring myself to put that 4-liter.
I have tossed around doing it with the YJ.
Yeah.
Because we had a customer try and rebuild their own motor, and they spent a bunch of money on brand new internals,
Right.
but they had zero machine work done to the block, and you could see daylight past the piston in the cylinder wall.
Yikes.
And he was like, yeah, I don't know. I put it back together. It doesn't start. So then, like, while we were waiting in line at the machine shop, he got annoyed at the wait line. So, like, I was like, I can just sell you a reman. But, like, I was like, the problem is I got to send your old motor back as a core, so you're going to lose all the money. He's like, I don't even care. I just want my Jeep back. I'm like, okay.
Right.
So then we pulled it out. My tech was like, are we really just throwing away all this stuff? And I was like, I'm not paying the core charge. And Trevor looks at me and goes, the core charge is only like $300, right? I was like, I'm eating the core charge. So now I have a 0-mile motor with it. It's a brand new 4.2 scat crank. Like I could build a 4-liter into a 5-liter, put a cam in it, and have a well-built 4-liter for like $1,000 at this point.
Which is still capable.
Right.
Yeah, super
Still
capable.
plenty capable.
But that would mean like the YJ's got a 5.2
That
Magnum
can go
in
in the
it.
race car.
It could go in the race car.
Be legal for
Yeah.
the race car.
I also offered it to PJ for the LJ.
PJ, it's going on the race car.
It's going in the race car.
There you go.
But we have to blow your 4-liter up first.
It's got 300,000 miles on it. I don't know if it's going to be hard or easy at this point.
Hard. It's a 4-liter.
Now it's just stubborn.
Yeah.
Die, motherfucker.
So yeah, it's like there's so many options out there now because like the 4-liters have good performance support again.
Yeah.
Like I don't think Banks is going to remake the turbo kit anytime soon, but like you can just build your own turbo kit at this
Get
point.
crafty.
Yeah, it's like it's not in the world like everything's turbo these days, so it's like not that hard to build a turbo
You can buy a
kit. But
supercharger kit for it.
yeah,
Why not?
just put a leaf blower under the hood and you're good to go.
Put a Milwaukee
Yeah.
leaf blower.
So yeah, like I've always been a 4-liter fan. I always had a dream of when the JKs were out. What are you doing?
It's my assing. I'm getting beer.
Oh yeah, give me one of those. When the JKs were like super popular, so 2013, 2014, before I even had the shop, I was like, I want to put a 4-liter in a JK one day. And then the JL came out and Quadratech made the YJL and put a 4-liter stroker in the JL. And I was like, bitches, like they beat me to it. So now I just want, like, I have like this like chip on my shoulder. And I want to put a 4-liter in everything.
Yeah.
Right.
But also we do LS swaps at the shop. So I'm like, I can buy an entire drivetrain for
You see
$2,500.
how reasonable it is? To do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like we have a Blazer that got the BTR Truck Norris cam, Trailblazer SS intake. It's like 500 horse for $1,000 worth of work. And like the Holly Terminator kit, and it's like 4 wires, bolts into a square body,
That's
and
more
you're
than
done.
everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. And now it's tunable, so we could probably get 600 out of it if he goes to a tuner.
Easy.
Yeah. And I'm just like, this is dumb. Like, I'm considering getting rid of my diesel truck and buying a 6.0 2500 and putting that cam in it and like just not have to deal with diesel problems.
Because your diesel
Well,
problems are the
yeah,
worst.
I have an old Duramax with 330,000 miles on it.
Okay.
And it needs cab corners and rockers and everything, so it's like I can trade that for a newer.
Okay.
It's not a new truck by any
Right.
means.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because I owned a 6-liter Ford.
Oh
That's-
no!
That's the truck that I had
LS, 6-liter
first.
LS. I would not
Oh,
get
yeah,
it.
absolutely not.
I
We learned that lesson from
Oh,
Tommy.
hey,
I'm
it got me to. It
anti-Ford.
got.
Tommy,
Sorry.
Tommy and Freddie.
Sorry.
Not Freddie. Abe
Abe,
Wine.
yeah, Abe.
Hi, it's the dog that peed on my tent. Oh, you're muddy now.
Yeah, I was a fleet mechanic for a while, and I just cursed Fords, and I can't bring myself to own one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a Ford family.
Well, that's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Some people make bad decisions. It's okay.
That's good. My plan for this is when the engine finally dies, because it's a 3.6, and they get like 200,000 miles, right?
Yeah, if you take care of it,
So
you're gentle to it.
put a Hemi in it, because I'm not done yet. So I work for a local government, and
Yeah.
we sell cop cars for fucking $1,000.
Perfect.
So swap a Hemi in it, call it a hemorrhoid.
Because
Because the Hemi swaps in this aren't bad, right? They're not horrible.
No, they're
I thought the Hemi swaps into the JKs were
It's
pretty
good.
easy.
just in parts it's going to cost you $30,000.
Oh fuck! I thought the Hemi swaps and JKs were a lot easier than that.
Well, if you want to do it right,
Oh no, of course not.
because the
Do you know who I am?
the WA850 will not hold up to the Hemi. So you're changing your transmission, which means you're buying drive shafts, you're buying brakes. If you do the car Hemi, you have to change intake, oil pan, a bunch of other shit. If you're buying a cop car Hemi, you're rebuilding that motor.
Fair.
And then if you're going to rebuild the motor, like you might as well do a bunch of other work.
God,
to
I really
it.
thought those Hemis swapped
So
right into the JKs.
They
easily.
just talk to the dash.
Oh, okay.
Like it's just it's easy because it's not integrating CAN bus.
Okay.
It'd be cheaper to put an LS and just run a Terminator and be done with it.
Well,
Sold.
if you're trying to integrate, that's where your problem
Right.
comes into play.
Right.
'Cause-
If you want your factory key, your factory air conditioning, if you want to keep it a JK, then yeah, you have to do a Hemi and you have to spend a bunch of money.
Right. So to answer your question, the
Go
drivetrain
pee on my
is
tent
back.
again, dog.
He's
Oh,
back.
he's doing it. He's gonna go piss on my tent.
Oh yeah, this is the
He's like,
spot.
oh yeah, this is
I'll just go sleep in my Gazelle tent tonight. I'll just move all my shit.
get an exhibitor pass.
Dude, that'd be so great if they came up to their booth tomorrow and opened that blue tent and I'm just sleeping in it. I'm like, I fucking paid for it.
Can we do the typical YouTube thing and just stage that?
No, I will actually do it.
I know that's the best part.
My tent is covered in piss right now.
Do you have like a bathrobe with you or something? Oh, I have a towel with me.
That's one
Let's
thing.
just walk up there.
That's all you need.
Just get in the tent, wrap yourself in a towel, and then come out to like the full show, just busy at noon.
Someone up. I'm in here.
Keep it down out there.
So CAN bus Hemis don't do it.
Yeah. It's no. Do it if you want a daily driver JK. Do it, but for you, don't do it. Like if you're gonna do a motor swap, pick a cheaper motor and just
I
deal
really
with.
thought the Hemis were easier than that.
So to answer your question, the drivetrain is now a Hemi. I've got a 5.7. So
Okay.
Okay.
very reasonable.
That's right. I did ask that question. Great
Very-
job. Great recall.
Very reasonable. So
I applaud you for not doing an LS.
well, everybody and their brother does an LS. I was
Yeah.
like, all right, you know what? Let's.
It is
do
that
something
easy
different.
though.
Yeah.
I like doing stuff like
Yeah.
I do stuff that's been done before. Obviously, nothing's not been done. So
Just less done.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go with a Hemi, and that only came about because I was borrowing a tube bender from somebody to build a cage.
Okay. Oh, so you built your cage too?
Yes.
God damn, you are YouTube certified. That is so
Oh,
impressive.
yes.
You know what they call that? It's called free time.
24/48.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Free time.
Yeah.
24 hours of running calls nonstop on
Yeah.
overtime.
Sleep for 4 hours.
24 hours on shift at my regular shift that was kind of slow. And then, so 24 hours of research and
Yep.
YouTube school,
Yep.
and then 24 hours of building. So, yeah, a lot of time dedicated to that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was borrowing a tubing bender to build a cage, and the guy that I borrowed it from,
Was it a hand? Was it like hand mechanical? Or did you have a hydraulic pump?
it was a JD squared with the hydro
Oh, nice,
ram
okay.
on it.
That's what
The
Abe's
guy, I met the guy on Facebook in a Florida group, and he's like, "Hey, I go with a certain steel supplier here in town in Jacksonville."
Is my phone still on? Good.
That would be real awkward.
Fuck.
Surprise! No, it's not.
Tubing bender, the one Abe has.
No, the best part is it's probably facing the other way. You've just been recording the beautiful sunset the whole time. It's just us narrating this
That wouldn't
wonderful
be horrible.
Blue Ridge sunset. Yeah.
So yeah, borrowed it from a guy, and he had motors lined up in his shop. So I drove like 2 hours to go pick up this tubing bender and a bunch of tube that he helped me out source. And
you went poop pipe, right?
No, of course not.
Excellent.
Of course not.
You're a good man.
I mean, I was.
This was also pre-COVID, so
DOM
was
was affordable.
$87 a foot.
No. This was
Pre-post-COVID. During COVID?
It was early after COVID.
Yeah.
Okay.
Early after, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it was just expensive. It wasn't.
So
it wasn't third
Yeah.
mortgage.
It was after the 2 week curve.
Well, and he was able to get a deal on it.
Yeah.
So he was able to. He had friends at the steel supplier. Like, this is a guy I had no idea who he was. Shout out to Trevor in Jacksonville. So
He doesn't know any rock crawlers in Florida.
no, none of
Just
them.
keeps listing them
Oh,
off.
he doesn't rock crawl. He doesn't
Oh.
own a Jeep. He owns a Fox Body Mustang and races
Oh,
it.
nice.
I met him in a
That's-
Facebook group.
And a lot of Hemis.
A friend of a friend. Yeah. So
Hemis and Fox bodies. Wow. That's
he had
Sounds Florida.
yeah.
a bunch of motors in a shop, and I was like, oh wow, tell me about it. Like, and so he started showing me everything to me. I'm like, how much does one of those go for? And this is like right as I'm like making the decision, like, do I really want to put the 4-liter back in? He's like, oh, $3,000 for a freshly rebuilt 5.7, a 4L80 freshly rebuilt, and all the swap parts to mate them together.
Sold.
I'm like,
That's a good deal.
It's a really
That's
good
a
deal.
really good
I
deal.
went
That's
home
that's pre-post COVID deal.
yeah, I came home with
That's-
that motor and
yeah.
trans as well as the bender and tubing.
Yeah.
So reasonable.
No,
so
that
there was,
yeah.
So I did that. I got a Hotwire Auto does wiring harnesses and factory ECUs.
Yep.
So I did that, and I didn't even go crazy on the gauges. I got an Edge tuner,
Yeah.
and that's a
Nice.
display in there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I did that. I bought a it's a drive-by-wire, so I have a
Yep.
fuel pedal from throttle pedal from Holly,
Yep.
and that's it.
Yep.
So
Well,
I'm really excited to come ride passenger with you. This sounds like a fucking awesome Jeep.
I mean what you just listed is the appeal of the LS, because you call Holly, you go, this is my generation LS.
Yep.
This is what it's going in, and they ship you a box full of parts.
Yeah.
And it's 3 days to put it together.
right. Well, I'm actually planning to swap to Holly this
This
season.
now the Terminator stuff supports a lot more
Oh,
engines.
Yeah. So I can actually run a GM transmission and
Yeah.
and
I just talked to them
Yeah.
about doing a Holly kit for the 5.2 Magnum.
Yeah.
It's a sniper. It's not a Terminator. So I'm like on the fence about it because it's
It's
not.
from Holly. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I've fixed too many other people's sniper installs to like.
Really?
The problem, and this is what I've been told by Holly. If the motor isn't mechanically healthy to begin with, the sniper kits cannot compensate for it.
Understandable.
Because it's still a carburetor. It's just a computer controlled carburetor, and it doesn't have enough input to figure out like, oh, this cylinder 8 has 10% less compression than everything else.
That's
and
reasonable.
and then it tries to adjust for the lowest common denominator. Then the whole motor runs like shit, and it turns into a headache, and we end up chasing mechanicals for. It's never a Holly issue,
Right.
but it's like my motor is definitely hurt.
It's Holly making a mechanical issue worse
right.
because it's trying to overcorrect.
Right. It's too smart. It's
like
too
throwing
smart. Yeah.
It's like throwing a supercharger on
Yeah.
a 4-liter.
Right.
It's not healthy.
Right. Right.
I want to do it.
You're gonna
but it's
find
not
your fail
healthy.
points.
Yeah. So it's like I'm like, do I just run the stock ECU until the motor blows up and rebuild it, or put something else in it? And
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
the
Everything has to
never-ending
be
process.
Right. Everything's got to be right.
I really should just put the axles under and then make the decision. 'Cause the
Probably.
motor is together and in the frame, so there's no reason to like change it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to rewire it. Is really what it comes down to, and thin that harness down.
Yeah, it's a
but it
nightmare.
needs to.
That's why for the LS swap that I'm doing, I just bought a harness.
Yeah.
It's 100% worth
Yeah.
it just to buy the harness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me know when you find a 89 YJ to 94 Dakota wiring harness.
Yeah,
Oh.
not happening.
Oh.
Yeah, it's it's the 5.2 Magnum. It's
Yeah.
OBD1 multi-port injection. Like it's, yeah.
You might find a 5, because funny thing you say that. I had for a very, very short period
He's
of time.
got a guy in Florida.
I flipped one of those. It was a little Dodge Ram 1500,
Yeah.
old second gen. Flipped it.
Yep.
You know, got it from a friend for like $300 because it didn't run. Needed
Yeah.
the rear main seal.
Yep.
Swap that out and send it on the road for $1,000. So,
Yeah.
like, they're not bad.
No, I honestly, I actually really like the way it performs the few times we've had it out.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's enough power without being ridiculous. Like it doesn't just snap tires loose. Like
Right.
It sounds good.
it sounds good. The parts are dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Like and it's not hard to get parts for. It's just it's got the stock Grand Cherokee harness in it, and it's just got a lot of extra wires. And I think the first attempt to thin it, PJ just like snipped off a bundle of wires and then it stopped running. And then we had to solder all those wires back together and we've
We
just left
needed
it.
those.
Yeah, I was like, oh, PJ, you got to go one at a time. One at a time so you know which one it is. But yeah, so it's work is really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
But
It's time.
That's cool that you went with the Hemi though and the
Yeah, I
4L,
like that.
4L80. Have you had
Yeah.
any issues with your 4L80? Being that it's a 4L80?
No. The
60s. The 60s are the problem. The 80s are
60s.
fine.
I thought it was just any of the 4L family.
6L80s were a problem.
I don't know. I know a guy that runs one.
The
His does
6L80?
pretty well. Yeah.
From a
His does pretty good.
your truck that had the
truck.
trans
My
issues was
14.
a 6L80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they're that's the cylinder shutdown. It's more of a tuning issue than it is a mechanical issue.
Yeah, so it's been good. I mean, I've had it hotter than it should be just from being in stupid places.
It happens.
But you know, it holds up to it. It's been rebuilt.
Are you still on 40s or did you go up?
No, I'm at 42s.
Yeah.
Once the 42s came out, I'm Mickey Thompson.
Are you
kinda
DOT
guy.
or street?
The DOTs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
they
DOT
don't-
or red, sorry.
They don't
MTZs?
have stickies yet, and the Baja Bosses.
Yeah.
I guess they're not red.
So-
Yeah, they're stickies, not reds. Reds is
Yeah.
a specific.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that brand.
Red too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
They don't do well in the wet.
No.
Yeah. So, yeah, 42s. The Hemi does good. It's healthy. So, I've had a couple fine tuning issues, as everybody does. You know, this first year I learned.
You can't modify stuff and not have problems.
Yeah.
Right. I think I need a bigger radiator because I crammed one into there. It's so tight in there with the 4-link because the
Yeah.
upper control arms actually tuck up between the frame rails.
Is the front triangulated too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's super super tight because the Hemi block is also a lot wider than an LS.
Okay.
The head sit or the
Yeah.
Yeah,
head
it
sit
does.
lower. and
Yeah.
it made packaging
Is
a
that-
pain.
2 spark plugs per cylinder as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All 16 of them.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but it does good. It's healthy. I mean, if you can get, it sounds a little ticky like most Hemis do.
It's a Chrysler
but
product.
It's all good though.
Sounds good on camera though.
Yeah,
Keep the oil in
it
it.
sounds good. It sounds good. Well, I learned that. I put a catch can in it, and
Yeah.
that solved all the smoking issues. Like,
Yep.
So fine tuning. That's it though. So I'm gonna swap.
What are you running for coilovers now?
I'm not. I'm running ORIs.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
went with those just to do something different. You
Yeah.
know, I figured I'd be doing more crawling than
Yeah.
bouncing. And
So this thing hasn't seen pavement in a long time.
you say that.
Outside of like
The initial build goal that I had was to build as capable of a street legal buggy Jeep as I
Yeah.
could. I mean, it's got air. It's got it's got air. I can drive it on the street. Like, it feels great down the road. It's full hydro. I put a lot of time into the suspension
Yeah.
geometry,
Yeah.
getting it just right. Spent a lot of time getting that full hydro system dialed.
are you using somebody's kit or did you
So
format it?
initially, I went with a PSC kit
Yeah.
and had a few issues. I had a bad pump out of the gate and no
Yeah.
real technical support
Yeah.
to help.
Yep.
So radial dynamics,
What the fuck's going on? Oh, you got a
on?
lantern fly.
Kill
Chalk another one up.
Kill
them
all.
all.
Kill all lantern flies.
Two. That's two.
That's actually pretty light for the podcast. Only 2.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Killed like 6 over there earlier. Yeah, I'm curious right now because, like, I'm doing hydro in the YJ because my steering pump is in the way, which led to this whole thing. Was I need to move the radiator, the steering box was in the way, so I'm like, how do I move the steering box? Oh, I can go hydro. Well, I'm not going to put hydro on a Dana 30, so let me commandeer these axles that Tim has left in my side yard for 7 years, and now I have a 60 that needs to go under it. And then I'm like, well, if I'm going to put the axle under, I'm not going to leave it on leaf springs, so now I'm going to 3-link it, and now if I'm going to 3-link it, I need to do this.
It snowballs so fast.
Yeah. It does, and 2 years later, it's just a pile of parts in my garage. But I like to do things on budget as much like DIY as I can, just because of who I am, and
understandable.
I don't have any money. So it's like my dad just sold his business. It was a forklift business. Everything's hydraulic steering.
Sure.
Called him up, and I was like, if I had specs for an orbital valve and a hydraulic pump, could you get me parts? And he goes, hang on, and he forwards me to the parts guy.
Perfect.
And I list off everything. He goes, yeah, I can get you one. They're gonna be expensive. And I was like, what's expensive? And he was like, I don't know, like $200-300. I was like, that's not expensive for an orbital valve.
Yeah, not at all.
Guess what other guys are paying for
I was like, if you guys want to get into off-road parts, you can make a lot of markup on those orbital valves.
Yeah.
Put 3 letters in front of that.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
And it was just like, so I'm like, all right, cool, I'll piece it together. Like, I can get the double-ended rams. Like, I can do the whole redneck hydro really easily.
Look, I'm all for
Yeah.
it. Like, that's awesome. If
Yeah.
you can do that, like, I
Because I'll put 3 or 4 Tractor Supply rams in it before the cost of a PSC or Trail Gear or whatever.
Which I have a PSC ram, and my box is drilled and tapped.
But yours is a single. Yours is an assist
it's a single.
ram.
Yep, assist
For
ram.
the full hydro, you need the double-ended ram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's a different ball game.
Yeah, but the nice thing about it is he takes all the measurement of like steering geometry out of it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to worry about bump steer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you do, but not from a linkage standpoint.
Yeah.
Not because
really.
you're not good at math. It's just because you're on hydro.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, it took a lot of time to get it dialed right. I bought the PSC kit, and it got me started.
Yeah.
And then having issues, the pump was bad right out of the box. The biggest thing with that was like add caster. Add caster, it makes it more streetable.
Yeah.
If you know steering geometry, you know that's you know, your return to center. Like that makes a big difference. I got 10 degrees caster.
Okay.
Got right height.
Did you rotate the C's for it?
Well,
or
they're crate axles, so no.
Okay. Did you order them with the extra
No.
So
that's
how's
how
your
they
pinion
came.
angle with that much caster?
It's perfect.
Really?
Yeah. So East Coast Gear Supply accommodated for that.
Okay.
They knew what I was doing.
That's good
and
to
they're
know.
like, okay, cool.
Yeah. So they probably built it into it when they built it. They had to have added.
You told them what you were doing. They're like, this motherfucker doesn't know he needs this. So we're gonna do it anyway.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Those guys are on point with everything. So probably.
I mean, even some of the like crate axles you buy for bolt into JK come with 4 degrees added automatically.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just because.
That's what I did with the JK axles too. Like they like 6 degrees of separation. I changed it to like 10.5.
Yeah.
So it makes a big difference.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean that's always the battle with bolt-on stuff is the front pinion angle versus your caster, and like we had a 392 customer who knew enough to be like, I want all the caster. Yeah. He's like I know it's probably more than you would normally run, but I want as much caster as you guys put in there, and we were so close to getting it perfect on the first try, and he drove around for a few months and was like, it still has a vibration, and like it was a JL 392 where like that's weird, and I'm like, the front drive shaft doesn't spin. It can't be the front drive shaft. And then I realized they put the Rocktrix transfer case in the 392s.
Ooh.
It's all-wheel drive.
Oh, that's right.
So we took 0.5 degree of caster out, and all the vibration went away.
Really?
Because it was the pinion angle. The front pinion was just enough out of phase.
That's right. Those 392s are all-wheel drive.
They're all-wheel drive.
I didn't realize that.
It took me like a week to figure it out. Because I just drove the thing around. I'm like, I don't get it. The front drive shaft's not spinning. The back drive shaft is perfect.
Turns out
it was in fact spinning. Because like I mean, none of the Rubicons had like that Rocktrix.
It's just because that 392 makes too much power to go to a Dana 40.
Well, yeah, and that's and like that's nobody ordered Jeeps with that transfer case.
No,
like that, like no dealership sold that transfer case, so it's just so rare to see it. Mm-hmm. And now I know, like it's the first thing I look at when we do a JL. I'm like, oh yeah, it's got CVs in the front. It doesn't have U joints. Like it's all-wheel drive. Mm-hmm. Nice. Which is another wild one that they put CVs instead of U joints.
Yeah, you
for a solid
see
axle.
guys doing those swaps.
Yeah,
like when I was building the Jeep the very first time, I was just researching and finding in old forums like people were swapping old Jeeps had the same spec.
Yeah, the WJ.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah, the WJ front
has
shafts
CVs
or CVs.
Garbage.
I mean, yeah, they're shit CVs, but it's better than replacing U-joints all the time.
Fair.
Just replace your shafts all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot easier for trail fix.
Just had carrying extra shafts other than universals,
Yeah,
which is I skipped the
It's that or bang your U-joints against a rock.
I skipped the U joints doing the front of this because I'm like I just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's not fun to change U joints.
Especially when they're crusty and broken and bent.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Yep.
No good.
Garbage.
No good.
Well, what else? You probably had a long day, so you probably want to get back to the hotel at some point.
I'm good.
You good? All right, let's keep talking
I'm
shit.
good to go if you want to talk. I'm here.
I was going to say, well, I got nowhere to be.
All right. I got to piss again. I'm going to stand up again and go piss behind my Jeep.
This is going to be one of those 7-part podcasts. It's
That's
really
fine.
one
It's
part.
because it's going to die. The recorder's going to die 3 more times.
Oh, actually. Oh, well, no, that's the second half. Yeah, we probably. I mean, I'm not saying we have to kick him out, but we probably should wrap it up.
Let me pee quick and I'll wrap it up.
All right.
We'll do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
I'll talk forever.
Yeah, that, so will we. And that we have a habit of going way long,
Okay.
and then like we get complaints like, oh, you guys should have done 2-part
People
podcasts.
complain about it. I want them longer. Well, that's also because I drive on the road and I listen to podcasts on the road, so
yeah.
I need longer to
Yep.
occupy my time. But
Yeah, the sweet spot for podcasts is like right about an hour.
Huh.
And like hour and a half, really no issue. Once you get into that 2-hour mark, you start getting into the Joe Rogan world, and it's like, you talking shit over there? Oh, he's talking shit over. He's talking
Okay.
talking shit about himself.
okay.
It's all right. You don't forget we are on camera now. So yeah, we try not to be too crazy. The first long one we did, I don't know, Abe Wine from Truck Night in America.
Good buddy of the
I listened to
podcast.
that one.
Well, I mean, this goes back. This was early in the podcast day.
Yeah, I wasn't there. I was in
Yeah, you
Mexico.
weren't there. It was like one of the first ones we did
I was
without
so
you.
bummed because I'm like, I'm going. It was like just.
Yeah.
I was like, I set up I scheduled everything.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, fuck, I'm out of town, so I had to miss a really
Yeah.
awesome podcast
Well,
to be in Mexico
and
with my
like-
wife.
Like he had told Abe like, oh yeah, we know, like 'cause at the time we were doing like 30 to 40 minute episodes. So he's like, yeah, it's just, bullshit conversation, 30, 40 minutes, tell some stories, like no big deal. Abe showed up at my house at like
You guys recorded
6
for like
p.m.
3 hours.
We recorded for 3 hours and then sat in my basement for another like 2. And my wife was texting me at 11:30 at night, like, "Can you please shut the fuck up and go to bed?" And then like we were like, "Oh, we've been down here for 6 hours," and Abe's like, "I still have an hour and a half drive home." And we're like, "Sorry, buddy. Like, nice to meet you. Have a nice night."
Ooh.
And now we're good friends. He's been on the podcast a few times, and every time he's on, it's a 2.5 hour
Yeah.
episode.
That's what I love about like what you guys have done. You've had a lot of really cool people on.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people do that.
And
Yeah.
we did like what 2.
Did like 4.
Like, well, no,
virtual.
we did like 2 remote interviews.
It was like 4,
Was it 4?
I think. Yeah, it was
I thought
close.
it was Kevin Jones and the Jeepcast were the only 2 that we did.
And then Daniel May Applegate.
oh yeah,
And
you're
then,
right. So 3.
I always forget his name. He's also from Florida. Bubble Rope. Ultimate Adventure.
Robert
Yeah.
something. Yeah, all right. So you're right. We've done 4.
Yeah, we did like 4
and
or
we've
5.
just like the internet thing. Like we both live in the sticks enough that internet's slow. So like trying to do it on a Zoom call, like there's latency, and it's just never a good conversation.
Right.
And so we've always done them in person, which has been
Yeah,
fun.
just getting to hang out with people and get to meet people.
Yeah.
So that's enough of behind the scenes. What's next for your? So you're entering your off season. What are you doing on the Jeep in the off season?
Yeah, so I was still kind of pending a spot in SEMA and PRI because we'll be there, but
Yeah.
it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And my trailer's kind of, got rear-ended
oof.
a month or so ago. So trailers kind of
Enclosed or open?
enclosed.
Okay.
Yeah, cross country
bougie.
enclosed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep the
so-
bugs out of the fancy paint.
Yeah. Well, keep the fan.
We don't. You have to worry about the paint because it's steal it, and you can it's good to go.
Exactly. So
That was good, Tim.
That was good. I'm fucking good at this.
Marketing plug.
Drink Gearhead Coffee. Bad marketing plug, but delicious coffee.
Yes, Gearhead Coffee.
as he pours his drink into
I keep forgetting we're on video. Whoops.
PRI is going to be fun. We're really trying to make it to PRI.
Check
Yeah.
back in the morning. I swear there will be coffee in it. That Tim makes me in his
Nice new Brew Tech
Yeah.
French press thing that he bought today.
PRI.
No, he didn't buy that. Sorry, he's had that.
No, I bought that one. She doesn't listen. We're good.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So,
PRI is very high on the list for us. Like
Yeah.
that'll probably be the last thing we do. I mean, it's in December, so it will be the last thing we do this
Right.
year.
We
but other than this,
if we are actually doing PR, you and I need to figure that out because I got
I'm
Yeah.
going to PRI.
Okay.
You are coming to PRI with me.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I just have to figure out the logistics. We'll talk about it off
It's happening,
recording.
but we just don't know how. That's all.
Yeah.
I have other commitments the same week that I have to deal with.
He's got to go back to New Jersey.
No, yeah.
Commitments.
Yeah, it's we'll
Off air, because your wife does listen.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll explain it off air. It'll make more sense. But yeah, it's it's gonna be a busy week. I'll have no issue doing it. It'll be fun for me.
Yeah. Well, we'll be out there the entire week.
Okay.
So that was kind of the last event that I had hoped to have the Jeep at. Don't know if that's going to happen with booth space and the people we work with. Like, I don't know if
Is
it's
that
gonna happen.
a Steal It thing or a Rockstar thing for you?
So Steal It has a booth.
Yep.
We will be there in that booth. The Jeep will not be there in that booth.
Okay.
We've got our own display stuff because we've got a lot of new stuff launching later this year.
Yeah.
So
Don't you guys sponsor a bunch of cars now, right?
We do. Yeah, we've got quite a few people that we support.
Yeah.
So the brands that I work with, though, through Rockstar, still waiting to hear back on if we'll make it. You know, if there's room for the Jeep in a spot. So if there is, the Jeep will get cleaned up and go out there.
Nice. Figure out the trailer thing later.
Yeah. If not, I'll just fly out there and be out there for the week. Yeah. So that's the last thing for the year. I mean, I'll be at those, and then next year, Hammers is number one.
You're going to Hammers?
We will be at Hammers. So
I just came to an agreement with my wife that I'm not going to Hammers, which kills me. But that's for other reasons.
No,
it's good. We can talk about those reasons off air.
We can also. Here's the thing: as much as I want to go to Hammers, with the Ultra 4 schedule that is out for 25, with the amount of East Coast races, I think it's good because I feel like Hammers is gonna be so overwhelming. That's not gonna be a good fact-finding mission for us. Where if we want to be serious about it, if we prep the car over the winter and fiddle fuck with it for the East Coast race, then we can at least dip our toes in before trying to make the jump all the way to Hammers.
Yeah.
do some East Coast stuff first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we've got do more of them, get more experience in it.
So that's we learned a while ago. Like Tim has to co-dog. He doesn't have the speed gene.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the weight behind it in his foot for the pedal.
It's more like the weight between his legs to put his foot down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
I love I love navigating. I love mapping.
Right.
Like I love all that shit.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm an ultimate co-dog. Like, invite me out. I will come wheeling with you.
Right on.
So yeah, it's like we've basically narrowed it down. It's like between me or PJ to drive. And I don't know how we'll actually make that final decision.
Trevor's cooking. We'll just do multiple laps. That's what I do. This
Swap
lap,
out.
you do that.
Well,
desert lap and rock lap.
Well, that's
There
true.
you
Yeah,
go.
that's true.
There
We can
you
both
go.
drive. Yeah. I just
Who does what better?
so that's really the problem. Is like I don't know.
And it's an XJ, so nobody does it better because the vehicle sucks.
Yeah. But that's the thing is like, in my mind, the desert lap and the speed part of it, because it's a 4600 XJ, really doesn't matter that much. Like,
because you're having the shit kicked out of you the entire speed.
Like, you're only going to be doing 30 or 40 anyway, which, like, it's not going to be that, relatively speaking. Like, we're not talking about doing 150 in an XJ through the desert. Like, like, that's just not part of that conversation. So, trying to get somebody comfortable to do 40 is really just a matter of not giving a fuck, and that's between me and PJ.
Yeah.
The
It
rocks,
sounds like he's more meticulous. Like he might.
He is very
be
meticulous.
He's very meticulous.
Better in the rocks, and you might be better at pushing it to its limits.
And I'll also make the argument
And
like
breaking it. He'll be the responsible for breaking it.
PJ's meticulousness would make him a great lead pit crew person, but then I have the business background, so it's like I running the team and doing the logistics. It's like, so do we just find somebody else to drive it? And it's like, but I also really want to just drive it myself.
Yeah,
so.
if I'm in a race car, it's going to be...
You're going to want me or PJ driving for you. Yeah. No, maybe we'll hire Kevin Jones.
Hey,
you want to drive a race car?
Hey, I'll drive a race car.
How do you feel about doing 100 miles an hour in an XJ?
I know other guys that want to race.
It'll be 100 miles an hour downhill because you're fucking rolling.
See, my problem with the business mind is I'm like, we could have a whole team. Like we get a 4600 car. We know a guy with a 4800 car that's not racing. Like we could buy his car. Like I'm like, how many drivers can we get? Like I'll drive the 4800 car. PJ can drive the 46 car. Tim can drive the UTVs. Like next thing you know.
Who's building all the cars?
Right, and then it's like, oh yeah, we don't have any money.
Yeah.
So we don't we don't even have one car yet.
So any other big notable things next year? I mean, you're doing a ton of shit next year. Hammers is the first one.
Hammers is the first
kind of
event of
falling
the
in line
year.
with the GAC after that.
So we're in the preliminary stages of planning all the crawls for next year. And so, like, we know we'll be at S'more. Like, that's our repeat, that we do that every single year. We've done that pretty much every year since year one. Next year's our 6th year doing it. So that's kind of our go-to. So we will definitely be there in July. We'll be at most of the big events.
Okay.
Don't know if I'll do EJS. I'm kind of not hoping that we don't do it, because it's kind of getting a little over the top.
Yeah.
Trail Hero though.
Yeah.
Trail Hero for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is definitely on the list.
I think
And
You'll,
next time we go across
you'll
the
skip
country.
this next year for Trail Hero.
yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that is this week.
Or we'll
Yeah.
that's all this week. Or
Yeah.
we'll send somebody else out to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll hire somebody else to do events and we'll send them out here. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Know a guy? Know a guy?
So bad. I'm gonna cut that part out.
Cut what part out?
exactly.
We didn't cut nothing out.
Oh, puppy.
There's another.
Oh, good shake.
I know.
Hi.
Another dog. That's the one that'll eat the food off your plate.
Yeah, that's what he's looking for.
But we're gonna kick you out here because I know you got another long day of talking to people tomorrow.
Yeah.
You got to drive 30 minutes into town to get a hotel room.
We are 2.5 hours into a podcast.
Yeah.
man.
Where
So
can people?
nobody's gonna get to the
Are we
end of it.
2.5 hours?
We are. The second half of the recording is 1 hour and 17 minutes.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so if you want to see me and what I'm up to, Instagram is pretty much my go-to where I post everything. So recoil_TJ on there.
This shit's really good.
So you'll see me and, all the adventures that we do at the crawls and all the other events. And some of the stuff that we do for Steel, like all the events that we go to. So there, and everything kind of posts over to Facebook. Name is Jordan Davis.
Do you
do
you have a
wanna-
YouTube channel at all for your own stuff?
I started one for a while as I started to build, and then the
Yeah.
pressure was on. I'm like, I gotta get this done, and so I stopped.
Oh, no, we're good. Never mind.
Yeah.
It started building up. Like, I was doing really well with it, and I was doing like some instructional videos for some of the parts that I was using, like specifically motor-built stuff.
Yeah.
Did really well, and they still do really well, but I haven't had the time to put into it because, as you know, editing takes a ton of time,
yeah.
and it makes building anything with a camera makes everything twice as long.
Vice Grip Garage makes it look so easy. I know he's busting his ass.
It takes so much
I know
more
he's
time.
busting his ass doing that.
Every camera
Yeah.
doubles your time.
Yeah.
So if you have one camera, you're double. If you have two cameras, all right.
Well, then you have
triple.
to stop and remember
So-
to talk to the camera and explain what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, fuck.
And then when you
Exactly.
misspeak, you got to start over.
Well,
Yeah.
and like
or just sound like an idiot.
just
Yeah.
like an example, when I was cutting the frame rails on the front of the Jeep, putting the front half kit on, like cutting it, takes 2 seconds to cut with the
Right.
sawzall. But okay, now it takes 10 minutes
Yeah.
Getting
to
the
cut
ang-
one
getting-
side to get a video of you
Yeah,
cutting
and
it.
then
Like,
move the cameras, go
Yeah.
cut the other side.
yeah, so it takes so much time. So
And
I haven't really done any.
That 10 minutes takes 15 minutes or an hour to edit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
So
Export, edit.
if
all
you
that
want to
shit.
watch the few little things I have on YouTube, it's Recoil Off-Road. So there you go.
Sweet.
Cool.
Go
You
check
guys
that
know where to
out.
find us everywhere social at the Dirt Drive, DirtNerds Motors. Tom's doing some cool shit. I mean, yeah.
We're always doing cool shit. It's
Tom's
just
doing
whether,
cool shit.
Whether I remember to post it or not.
Yeah.
Same problem.
Go to your email, type in tim@dirtnerdsoffroad.com, send me your shirt size and your address,
There you go.
and I will request money from you,
$25.
$25, and we will send you a Kill All Jeep shirt. Keep doing it. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. Thank you, dude.
Yeah,
I'm glad this
absolutely.
came together. I'm stoked to come talk to you today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was excited to come on. You guys have a lot of cool people on, so I
Yeah.
was
You're one.
honored.
You're one of the cool.
coming
You are
on.
now one of the cool people.
Awesome.
Welcome to the club.
I didn't realize how cool you were until we started talking. I'm like, oh, he's got a cool Jeep that he probably paid someone to build. No, you fucking did it. I'm giving you a
Honestly,
hard time.
You,
You
learn
did.
a
You
lot
did.
of things,
I
like fire
really-
department stuff,
yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah, that was a surprise.
all the little things.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
I really don't think there's that many people in this world that like are as involved in it and don't build their own stuff.
Yeah, no, I know.
I
I'm
think
just
that's-
giving-
I think that's
knew you
pretty
built, I
rare.
could tell you built your own shit, but I was just
Yeah.
giving you a hard time. Cool. We're gonna sign off.
Yeah.
We will see you guys next week with probably not as cool of a guest, but maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
shout out to Gearhead Coffee again. Delicious coffee. Shout out to Overland Expo for putting on a cool event.
Yep.
And
All fun
obviously,
stuff.
shout out to you for coming and joining us.
Thank you guys.
After a
Appreciate
long
it.
day. Cool.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you guys next week.
See ya.
Adios. Hopefully my phone's still on.